Well, well, well. The mainstream media is working overtime to try and smash and shame the individuals that, of course, attended Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally. All we have seen from the traditional and legacy media is far-right this, racist that. That's the narrative that they're going for, despite a Sky News host, Trevor, of course, coming out and saying that he went there for himself and spoke to the people and actually saw that they were just normal, everyday Britons. Now, going to Good Morning Britain, this one, what we're going to watch, is absolutely despicable. This time, they've labelled the Tommy Robinson March as far-right and racist, and their presenter, Ranveer Singh, even went so far as to say that she felt unsafe purely because of her skin colour, that she couldn't travel into London while the march was happening. Let's have a watch and react to this actual debate from Good Morning Britain, and you'll see that the way that they speak about the individuals that attended the rally is like they have some mental illness or something. Yeah, they think they really are racist. It's funny to see, it really is. Let's have a watch, guys. But as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. Ranveer, you were on your way into London, weren't you, on Saturday? Yes. And you met somebody who was going on that march? Yes, it was really interesting. I changed my plans, which actually made me sad because I think, well, I should be allowed to go into London and feel safe. I live here. This is my place. But I didn't take my son in. You know, that made me sad. You know, the fact that you think, oh, it's not safe for my little brown boy to be in London is a sad thing. But there you go. You think you weren't safe because of the colour of his skin? I just didn't, I didn't want him to be exposed to anything at Euston Station. And there were a lot of people there when we got there. Actually, it was interesting at my local station. I was just queuing up to get a coffee, and the man in front of me was getting coffee from the guy who I think is Sri Lankan at the station. We all know him, he's been there for years, and, lovely. A really jolly chap. A white guy said, I'm going into London, I'm going to join the Tommy Robinson March. And he goes, you know, and we just started chatting, the three of us, you know, which is, I think, what you need to do. Interestingly, you do need to talk to people when you feel that they're on the opposite side to you. And he said, I'm curious. I'm curious to know how fascist these people really are. And my brother's a bit more far right, and I'm keeping an eye on him today. He said, you know, I don't know how the protest is going to go. The last one I went on was to Remain during Brexit, which again is flipping the idea of who you think they are on its head a little bit. And I'm worried about illegal migration, not all migration, just, you know, it's the illegal thing. I'm going to go along. And he sort of was very upbeat and jolly, and we laughed about, you know, the Remain thing. Did you go for a French wine and a German beer and an Italian meal? Yeah, we did. You know, we joked. And actually it was interesting because when he left, myself and the chap at the thing, we sort of gave each other a little grimace because I think the lovely man, I'm going to say he was a lovely man even though he was going to a far-right march. In my opinion, you're going to support someone like Tommy Robinson. That makes me deeply uncomfortable. But the point is, you have to feel the pinch and still have a conversation with someone. And we both sort of grimaced a little bit, took a deep breath, and that was fine. And then I posted it on Instagram because I don't want to believe that 150,000 people are out and out racists. That isn't my experience of this country. So I just in my head can't equate that monolith, that huge number of white faces, with my experience in this country. It just doesn't seem right to me. And so that's why I posted, because I just thought, look, if there was a march that was, are you worried about illegal migration? It would be much smaller than that. If it was a march, are you worried about migration overall? It would be a different number to if it was, are you an Islamophobe? Are you an out-and-out racist? Do you want England to be white only? There are so many nuances in those 150,000 people. And the worry for me is that somebody who has got a concern that I might have. I have concerns about illegal migration, right? My mum might have a concern about that. But that man feels that he's now only being heard. Has to go and join the throng of, and then you get corralled. And I worry about othering people who join the ranks, and the voice that they end up being spoken for and by is someone who is very extreme. So to me, it was the nuance of it. And it's very difficult because the point being that for someone, anybody of my skin colour, today you have to work against your instinctive fear. There was a Sikh woman who was racially raped in the West Midlands. It's being investigated, and so, you know, it's a live case, but that is out there in the public domain. She was a Sikh woman. She has given a statement about it. Her evidence to the police is, I was told, you don't belong in this country. Right. That's a live investigation. That's where we'll leave it. I'm a Sikh woman. The climate we live in makes me nervous, but you have to work against your fear. Ravi, were you surprised at the way? Also, I'd like to know what the Church of England thinks about Christianity being evoked, actually, because I'd like to hear what they think about their... Were you being used? Were you surprised at the way this gentleman spoke to you at the weekend? Was I surprised? No, I wasn't. I was relieved. And it felt good to talk. And it felt good to talk to him because I think it confirmed my desire to believe that people feel frustrated. But that doesn't mean they despise anybody who's brown. What on earth is she going on about? This is a journalist, guys. This is a journalist talking. She's talking about white supremacy, essentially. That's what it is. Apparently, this rally was just white people. They want everybody out. I was there personally. There were so many different cultures and different people's skin colours. It's not about skin colour. And this is the problem with the mainstream media. They just create a narrative and push it. It also was not an anti-immigration rally. It was a freedom of speech festival. It was about the freedom of speech. That was the remit of the festival. Also, 150,000? There were 3 million, or at least over a couple of million people. Yes, not everyone got to the speeches. But of course, throughout London, the images suggest that it was way over 1 million. Now again, Tommy Robinson and others are saying it's close to 3. I don't know the official numbers. But this is the world that we're living in. What world does she live in? Because where is this terrifying, dangerous, racist mob she keeps talking about? Because on the ground, we saw people from all walks of life peacefully exercising their right to protest, waving flags and calling for change. That is not far right, it's simply democracy. But the way the mainstream media outlets like Good Morning Britain chose to spin it tells you everything you need to know. They don't see patriots, they see villains and extremists. And instead of reporting honestly on what actually happened, they chose to push fear and division. The truth is simple. Millions of ordinary Brits are sick and tired of being smeared every time they raise their voices. If waving the Union Jack, if standing up for your own country is now considered far right or racist by broadcasters, then we've reached a very dangerous point in public discourse. So here's the question. Is it really about protecting people, or is it about silencing dissent? Because to me, it looks an awful lot like the latter. They don't get it. Simply, it's a disgraceful broadcast. She doesn't understand anything, and it really frustrates me. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on that down there in the comments section below. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more.